Hello guys and welcome to QuipoIn. So today in this video we are going to discuss about HTML form. In this video we are going to cover the basic of HTML form, in which we are going to discuss about what is HTML form, why we use HTML form, and how to create a basic HTML form and its syntax, and at last we'll discuss few exercises on HTML form. So without any further delay, hit that like button, subscribe to QuickPoint, and let's get started. So the first question is, what is an HTML form? HTML form is nothing but a container in which we collect data from the user. HTML form is an essential web form because it helps user to interact with the website through logging details and feedback. It helps in user collection, data collection for surveys and order, and it helps in dynamic content creation. Let's get started with how to create an HTML form. So for creating an HTML form, we need a form tag. A form tag is closing and opening tag which is used inside the body of HTML. So what we are going to do here is an example of an HTML form, a feedback form. We will create this feedback form together and learn about basic of HTML form. You can go into QuipoIn tutorial and HTML to know more about the forms and to see the code of this form. So open your favorite IDE. We use VS Code, and let's get started. So here I already have structured the basic HTML syntax, and here is the question. So as here you can see, there is a feedback form heading, there is a name text field, a email text field, a subject drop down, and a text area and a submit button. So this is a very basic HTML form. So I have written here the heading with feedback form, a name field, an email field, a drop down subject with fields like general inquiries, feedback and support, a text area, and a submit button. So let's open our live environment and let's start to code. So as I told earlier, to create a form, we need a form tag. So here is the form tag. Now let's get started. So the first thing is a name field. So we are going to create a name field. So for that, we have a tag called input tag. So what this tag does is it create a field in which we can input our data. So there are different types of input tag. There are different attributes of input tag. So we currently need a text input field, as name is simply a text. So we are going to create a text type. So here you can write a text. There are different types like radio button. If you write a radio button, so here it will come a radio button, which is basically used for single choice question. Then there is a checkbox. So here comes a checkbox. So these are some basic types of input. So for name we are going to use a text. Then we are going to give this input tag an ID. An ID is really important for unique identification of that input. It helps in styling also. So we are creating for it for a name field. So I'm going to give a name. The ID will be name, and we are going to give a name to this input. So we will give it name only because we are creating it for name. Now we have created a input field, but how to label it? So for that we simply use a label tag. Label tag basically shows how the input tag will be shown. So we are creating a label for, we are creating it for a name. So we'll give it an attribute for and a name. And now what will be displayed to user? What user will see? So user will see here name. So here a input text field tag is created with a label name where user will write their name. Okay. So we are going to give a line break for formatting. So now we are going to do the same thing for the email, as email is also a normal text field. So we will do same for email, just the input type will be text. The ID I will change it to email as I'm creating it for an email, and I'll give it name email. The label for the input will be email, and the name displayed will be simply email. So now we get two text field. The first is name, where user will input their name, and the second is email, where user will input their email. Now comes the most interesting part, which is how to create this drop down button. So to create this drop down button, we have something called select tag. When we use the select tag, we automatically get a drop down. So again, we have to give it an ID. The ID will be my subject, and the name will be also subject. So we have created a select tag, drop down button, and with a select tag with an ID and name subject. Now again, for this select we have to give it a label. So we will give it a label for what we are creating it for, subject. So basically subject, and what user will see, subject. So now we have got a drop down button for subject. Now we want now we want our fields, the general inquiry, feedback and support field, to show here. So how to do that? They are That is very simple. To create that, we have a tag called option tag. So option tag, what it does is create field inside the drop down. So option, what will be the value? Value is basically what we are typing it for. So the first value is inquiry. We are doing it for inquiry, and what it will be shown to user, say general inquiry. So as here you can see, our drop down with a general inquiry has been created. Now we'll do same for the rest of our fields. So I'll just go here, paste and paste. So the first one was for inquiry, the second will be for simple feedback, and what will be shown to user is feedback. Then we will create it for a support, and what will be shown to user is support. Yeah. Okay, so our drop down has been created. Our subject drop down has been created with general inquiry, feedback and support field. Now what is left? Now we have to create a text area for message, for personalized message. So that is very simple to create. For creating a text area, we use a tag called text area. So this tag will simply create a text area. As you can see, as I wrote it, a text area has been created. So again, we have to give it an ID. The ID will be message. Okay, the name will be message, and a text area has been created. Now we have to give it a label to the text area, how the user will see that text area. So again, we'll create a label for, we are creating it for message. So, and what user will see is message. So we have created it, and I'll again just add line break for formatting. Now it is coming something to this, it is coming something closer to this. We have our email name, email, subject drop down with three fields, and a message text area. Now left, what left? The submit button. Submit button is really easy to create. As I earlier told you, there are different types of input, so it is similar to that. We will just create a input type. We'll create a input type, and the input type will nothing but submit. And as I write here submit, you can see a submit button appears. So what value will be in the submit button? Nothing but submit only. And we have created a submit button. We will just add again but line break for formatting. So here you can see we have created name, email, subject and a submit button. You can check here. So it is quite resembling to that. Now what things are left? There are few things. So first of all, there was a heading. So it is as simple. Create a h1 tag, write feedback form, and our heading is created. We have name, email, message. Now there is something that we have missed, that is your name, your email, and write something. Now how to get this? This is very interesting. This is called a placeholder. A placeholder is something where the user see, our user get an instruction what we have to write. So placeholder. So here we will write or what it was, your name. So as you can see, placeholder, we got this. So I'll just copy paste it for the rest of the fields. So in input, again in the email we will paste it, and in the text area again we will paste it. So we got it. So we have created a basic feedback form with name, email, subject and a message. So you can check it out on Quipo. We have provided the code and we have coded it together. So again, I'm going to explain it in short. So for creating a form, we use a form tag. Form tag has two attributes called action and methods. For creating text field and input area, we use input, and there are different types of input like text, checkbox, radio button and submit. We have used two types of input here, the text and the submit. Now to give value to this input, we use label tag. The label tag tells what this input is for. And again, to create a drop down, we use select tag, and to add values in that drop down we use option tags. And for a submit button, we simply use an input type submit, and to create a text area we have tags called text area. So I hope you understood the points. You can go revise it here and code it yourself. You can also go to QuipoIn, and to discuss few interview questions you can use a hashtag called HTML series by QuipoIn, and you will get all the interview questions for this, and you can prepare for an interview. And for further, if you want to go and read about some more, we have created tutorials here. We have HTML form tutorial also. Go to HTML and then forms. And if you want to do few exercises, just log into QuipoIn. If you don't have an account, sign up using Google and go to the exercises part, the HTML. And when you go to the form, you will see the exercises. We have given you few exercises to solve it. We have given the answer. Solve it by yourself and check your answer with it. So that is for today video, guys. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to QuipoIn, and we'll meet again in the next video. Thank you.